Hey, how's it going? My name is Jordan Morrison, and this is episode 52 of It Is What It Is. And I've had an interesting go at it. You know, I've had I've had an interesting couple of weeks, and I've been slacking, and I feel bad about that. And I apologize to you, to everyone else out there, to myself. But all I can do is my best, and I'm here doing that right now. And this episode is about being unsure or confused or hesitant, doubtful, because that's the emotion that I've been living in lately. And I want to be honest with you. I want to try to relate to what I got going on, and maybe you can remember a time when you felt that way, or maybe you can partially relate to what I'm saying, or who knows, maybe you can fully relate. Where do we begin? I have been slacking on my podcast because I have been doubtful on my podcast. I've been confused about it. And what's really interesting is in the last couple of weeks, I've met multiple people who have podcasts themselves. And I was given advice from a friend of mine in Dallas when I was moving from Dallas to Nashville. And that piece of advice has been ringing around in my head like crazy because it holds true to what I have experienced in the last couple of weeks. Like I said, I met some people that had podcasts, and the advice that I was given to ponder about moving from Dallas to Nashville was that I wouldn't perhaps be unique or stand out, that a lot of the people that I would meet would have the same things going on, like the pursuit of music, podcasts, creativity, all that kind of stuff, which in one hand is a good thing, and the other hand could be taken as a negative, right? You got all these people trying to do the same thing. That might be discouraging, or it might feel unauthentic, whatever it might be. And this friend of mine was just trying to be helpful, and she was being helpful. So like I said, in the last couple of weeks, I met some people that had podcasts, and for different reasons, it discouraged me. One of the podcasts that I came across this week was very inconsistent. You could tell that the podcasts were sporadic. One hadn't been done in something like a year or years, if I remember correctly. And I immediately remember feeling like I didn't want that to be me, that I didn't want to continue slipping up and then be somebody who was doing that and still talking about it. It's never been something that I liked to do or somebody I liked to be. And that first really resonated with me when I quit baseball. That was something that was really tough for me. It wasn't tough for me in the moment. And I think that's the worst thing about quitting is it's the easy choice in the moment. But when you look back weeks, months, years later, it really is the toughest thing. It's the toughest thing to swallow. It's the toughest thing to accept. And I know that feeling. I know it all too well. And I didn't want to feel like I was quitting. By no means did I give up or quit. But because I know that feeling all too well, I didn't want that to be my situation, to be my podcast, So for that, I was grateful. Another podcast that I met, that I came across, was extremely unauthentic. I could relate to that one as well. And I remember feeling very unauthentic in my podcast. I still do in parts of my episodes, if not a lot of my episodes, I try to start the episode off. I try to be my authentic self, and I get lost somewhere down the way. And when I came across this other podcast, I could tell it was unauthentic because I had been there myself. I knew what it looked like. I knew what it felt like. And when I did my homework on this podcast and on the account and on the host and all these things, I just was finding things I could relate with. I was finding fake followers. I was finding fake stories. I was finding forced interviews, And for what, you know? And I think I know the answer because, again, I experienced it myself. And that answer is validation. At least I think so. At least I can speak to that point to myself. That when I'm being unauthentic, or when I'm forcing something, or when I'm telling a tall tale or making a little fib, you know, it's because I want to be validated. I want somebody to think what I'm doing is cool, and I want to be somebody I'm not. And it's been a confusing couple of weeks for me. I've been trying to figure out if what I'm doing is right for me, if I'm going to make it to where I want to be, and if I'm being the best version of myself. And I've been confused because there's doubt in that emotion, and there is like an uneasy feeling, and it's just not a great place to be, you know. I'd like to think that I have the tools to get myself out of where I'm at now. And really, I'm thankful because when I really just take a beat and I was preparing for this episode, and I was realizing that I was feeling these, you know, negative, not so great emotions, I know that I have the tools to get myself out of where I'm at. And my advice to you, my advice to myself when you're feeling that way, is to remember the things that you are confident about, remember the things that you're grateful for, and essentially count your blessings. When I can get grounded, when I can remember why I'm doing something, why I like to do something, when I remember the good things that I do have in my life, then the feeling of confusion and the feeling of fear and all those things leave. I was told that you can't be in love and in fear at the same time. That when you're doing something that you love, when you're pursuing something that you love, fear's out the window. When you've got only room for what you love, the confusion goes away. So I kind of feel like I just talked in a circle, and I hope you don't feel that way, but I kind of do. I'm just really working myself to get out of this funk, or whatever you want to call it, you know? And really what I want to say is I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you letting me blabber into the universe. That's how I describe my podcast. When people ask me about my podcast, if I bring it up in conversation, or if somebody asks about it, I say, hey, this is me blabbering to the universe. And it really is good for me. So thank you. I appreciate it. And if you're feeling confused, take a beat, take a moment to remember that you have all the tools to keep yourself going in the right direction, that you've got a lot to be thankful for. Personally, I hate the fact that I doubt what I'm doing, where I'm going, if I'm going to get there, all those kinds of things. But I think it's a part of human nature. I think that we all go through it. And I said a long time ago that I wanted to be honest with you guys on this podcast. And so this is me doing that. This is me trying to be a little bit more honest. It's not all sunshine and roses on this side of town, baby, but we do what we can with what we got. So, yeah, that's been, what I got going on. I've been singing. I've been writing. I've been producing. I've been playing piano. So, that's all good. It's all good stuff. I get glimpses of hope where I feel like I'm improving at the skills that I'm practicing and getting tutored on and stuff like that. And then there's times where I feel like I'm in the same spot that I was, the year before and the year before that, something like coming up on 2 years of the podcast and 2 years of making music. They kind of started around the same time. And for that, I'm really grateful. Those 2 years have brought me back in touch with the person that I love, the personality in me, the person that competes, the person that works hard, the person that that's busy, that has a lot to do, that has visions and wants to do better. Because I feel like I'm falling short in my life. I feel like the fact that I haven't retired my parents is a big issue. I feel like that the fact that I can't take care of of my family, that I don't have a an 8-figure company that I can share with my loved ones is, I know it sounds ridiculous, but that is something that I knock myself for. I'm like, come on, man, you can do better than this. And I will do better than this. I'm putting in the work. I'm doing the things, and I'm getting dirty, getting down and dirty. So hang in there, Mom. I'm gonna retire you, I promise. The funny thing is she's gonna be retired before I'm able to retire her, but I'm trying. I'm doing what I can. So if y'all could just hit that subscribe button and like this channel and share it with your friends and tell them to subscribe, I could retire my mom. That'd be fantastic. Thank you very much. Because she's a great lady. Anyone who's ever met my mother knows that she is an angel. She's the best, and she deserves to be retired. So subscribe, like, share, tell your mom to follow. What else do we got going on? I miss my friends, It's hard. Like I really don't know how to make friends as a guy, as a 30-year-old guy. I don't know how to make friends, and I know where my friends are at. They're in my hometown, and I miss the hell out of them. And I don't know what to do about it, Part of me wants to move home, be around my friends. The other part of me wants my friends to move out here, be around me, But I hope they're doing well. I miss them dearly. And I miss my family, But I also know I'm doing the stuff that I want to do. I couldn't think of a different city I'd want to live in to pursue my dreams. So that is a huge positive. That's a huge plus. That's all the really emotional, deep conversation that I got for you. I am over 2 weeks clean off of marijuana. You can see that I got the color back under my eyes. They're no longer purple. I don't look so, as some would put it, basement dweller. I don't look so old, getting some youth back to my face, which is great. It's awesome. I love that for me. My dreams are weird as hell. Like, I don't even want to explain them to you in fear of the cops busting down my door. But when you stop smoking weed, the dreams get really weird. Really, really weird. What else do I got going on? I've been just having busy days, busy all the time. Busy. Work's been good. But I traveled a little bit, and that got me thinking, actually, because Joe Biden has created a border crisis, and I can solve it. I know how to solve the border issue. It's pretty easy. We take the TSA agents and we replace them with border agents. Because if illegal immigrants had to deal with TSA agents at the border, I promise you they wouldn't want to come to this country. Every time I'm in an airport and I have to deal with a TSA agent, I'm like, why? Why are you treating me like this? Me and the people pay your salaries, and you're crazy rude to us. And Border Patrol agents usher people through. I feel like that's how the airport should be for citizens. Usher me through. Give me things, perks, benefits at the airport. Be nice to me. Let's send the TSA agents to the border. Boom. We'll give illegal immigrants a hard time. No way they want to come over here after that. They're going to be like, they're rude. They're not nice. I don't want to go there. Crisis averted. Problem solved. So take a think, take a think is what I was going to say. Think about it, take a think. You could do that. You could take a think. You could take a shit and you could take a think. I just took a verbal shit trying to take a think. I got to stop now. It's going too far. It's going way too far. I think that was the only thing I really wanted to touch on that we could say is humorous or whatever you might call it. But it's episode 52. Feeling a little confused. I don't have any music to share. I'm on the road to 50 demos. I've got 6 knocked out. I've got a couple more. I've got some beats that I'm working on currently. I'm going to knock down a couple songs in the next couple days. I'll be at 10 before the end of the week, 50 within 2 months. That's the goal. So demos coming out, not on SoundCloud, not on Spotify, nothing like that. But I am cranking, I'm going, I'm working, and I'm getting the demos out. That's important. I got to refine this process. I got to start making some top shelf music. It's coming. It's coming quick. And I'm glad I got it recorded here because we're going to be able to look back and say, yo, put in the work. He talked about it. And I will have more content to share with y'all from tutors and stuff like that for next episode. But I appreciate you being here with me and allowing me to open up a little bit. Oh, and before I go, I got a couple book recommendations for y'all. The first one is a fiction series, and it's phenomenal. It's 10 out of 10. Can't rate it high enough. Very entertaining. Just finished the first book of the series. There's 5 of them in total. The series is called Red Rising. Shout out to my boy Tyler. He introduced me to the series and I was hooked. I spent all of Saturday reading. I read like 250 pages. I don't know when the last time I did that was. Maybe college when I had a paper due or something. High school maybe when I had a book report. I don't know. But Red Rising is where it's at. Incredible writing. I think the guy's name is something Robert. I don't know. You'll find it. Red Rising series. Really, really good stuff. Main character, Darrow. He's the man. That just absolutely so cool. Again, can't recommend it highly enough. If you're like me, and you would know if you're like me if you've watched any of these episodes, you're going to love it. So Red Rising. And then the second book I got for you is for every young man out there. If you are old enough to read, this book is for you, especially if you're a man. Again, there's only 2 genders, but if you're a man, you need to read Iron John. That book is by Robert Bly, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. But the book is called Iron John, and every young man should read it. I cannot recommend that book highly enough. It is fantastic. So those are my 2 book recommendations. Those were the 2 recent books that I have read in the last couple weeks. So go out and get you a copy, boy. Have some fun. Read a little fiction novel, and then get some advice on how to be a man. So that's everything that I got for you. Episode 52 in the books. I'll see y'all next week with some more cool content. That's what I got for you. Okay, bye.